Maybe. Because when you use quotes and use statistics, people just feel, you've studied, you're prepared, you know what you're talking about. So do it too in your stuff, in that topic, so you can start with the statistics. According to the World Health Organization, a research done in 1992, between 1992 and 2024, 80%, Dr. Are you listening, about HIV. If you want to mesmerize us here, just stand up and say, 1 in every 10 persons living in Abuja has HIV, according to Susan. So all of us will just keep quiet and wonder. I say, are you serious? Are you sure that So again, the opening is supposed to do what? Wow. Wow. So statistics. But here are the rules that you must pay attention to. So if you're giving the statistics, don't undermine the intelligence of your audience. And say, okay, no, I'll just reel out the facts. Then somebody says, sorry, you said, Saraki, you said according to World Health. I Googled it up just while you were saying it. I didn't find the facts. What's happening here? So be careful about verify your statistics. Sorry. What else should you do? Can we do this together? Peter Obi memorizes a lot of his own. It makes an impression. And then, if you don't want to memorize for whatever reason, you can show it as a graph, pie chart, and all of that. Or you can explain it as a story. To explain as a story means that you say, I know Kemi. Kemi lives in Ikorodu in Lagos State. She's among the 5 out of 100 women that has HIV in Ikorodu. You're using a story now to describe his statistics. Is this making sense? Yeah. Hook number 3. Hook number 3 is stories. You can't get it wrong with stories. You can't get it wrong with stories. But now, please, as someone who has done public speaking for a long time, you must master the art of storytelling. That's why I often recommend that don't begin a presentation with humor. Because if you get it wrong with the humor, so you must be very skilled a storyteller. So if you don't want to do humor, you can still do storytelling. I'm going to show you a format for storytelling briefly. But let's look at different kinds of stories that you can tell. You can tell legends. Don't think that people won't listen to legends. Old legends are stories that are not necessarily true, but people just agree with it, or just to pass across a message so people listen to legends. You can start with stories are also fables and folklores. Who knows what an anecdote is? Anecdotes. What's an anecdote? Not antidote. Not antidote. Not anecdote. What's anecdotes? What's anecdote? Okay, so put in front of it a short story. A short story. I didn't say story. I said story. A short story. Can we say it together? A short story. So, anecdotes are short stories. You can tell, depends on the topic. You can also go personal stories. You can also share superstitions, and you can share traditions. Remember that our goal is to do what? Is to hook the audience, to wow them, so we can introduce stories. And stories are so important. I said yesterday that stories are hypnotic. They are hypnotic. You know what hypnotic means? You know what hypnosis means? What does it mean?
So, how do you put it?
Put it the way you want to put it.
That's so you can tell somebody, right?
Captivating, to capture your mind. And so politicians do that a lot. Some very skillful politicians do that a lot with storytelling. Pastors do that a lot with their testimonies. Storytelling. And I said yesterday that all ancient teachers, from Muhammad to Jesus to Aesop to Socrates to all of them, their format of teaching was storytelling. Yeah. Always the best. Always the best. So as a public speaker, how can you make it a story? So let's look at the rules for telling a story. What are the rules for using a story in your primacy? The rules for telling a story in your primacy. The rules for telling a story in the primacy or at the beginning of your speech is this. Can we read the first one together? Want to go? Keep it short. The opening should not be too long so you don't lose the audience. Make it pam, pam, pam. Pam, pam, pam. When I was coming from Uyo to Abuja, fortunately or unfortunately for me, I was seated at the exit seat. And usually, these hostesses will say, we have 3 or 4 or 6 exit seats. And after doing all the explanation, they walk up to those seated at the exit seats and say, are you comfortable at the exit seat? I said, must you say this? He said, if there's any problem on this plane, you'll be mandated to push open. They start explaining how to pull the lever. I say, must you? And allow me to start getting scared. Phobia. And some people, I saw my friend, or my partner, who was just praying, saying the rosary to himself, enraptured with fear. That kind of fear is called aerophobia, the fear of heights. There are other kinds of phobias, like the fear of public speaking. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my topic today is how to overcome stage fright. What I just did now is I used a story and brought it to talk about fear of public speaking. Does it make any sense? Yeah. So stories are powerful. Very powerful. So now, one of the best formats, are you done writing the last one? Or should I go back?
Just go back a bit.
A bit, okay. Yes, for those who register, we'll give you every information you need. Now, let me tell you something. I gave you a book to read. When we started our program, we didn't used to have these manuals. So what we did is we took all the slides, and developed them into books. So when you go into and start reading, you start noticing, opening trial, use of the power of quotes. Yes. So following the same format. So all of this is my book now, but in slide formats. It first has a slide, then we discuss with faculty. Why don't you convert all of these things into books? So you can have them and read them, and you're taking the program. However, there's something about reading the textbook and having someone teach you. Yeah. So that's why we are teaching you. So all of them is inside here. You can take your time, and once you pay, you get this. Make sure you get all of that. All right. Please, are we getting some value? So please pay attention now. We are speakers, and we came here to learn. Did we come here to learn? Yes. Did you come here to learn? Yes. And I've worked with people for many years. Let me tell you something. Public speaking, you learn public speaking by speaking. You learn it by speaking. It's a very practical course. Writing is good, capture your note, but you learn it by speaking. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a lot of speaking. I'll lay foundation today. We'll do a lot of practice and speaking. When it comes to public speaking, I told you it's an art and an act. A-R-T and A-C-T. You act, you take yourself, you get into character. Be all the quiet person you are on the seat, but on stage, be a different person. Like in Michael Jackson. Get into that character. You can still be feeling the things in your stomach, but do what you have to do when you have to do. Like he told us a story when he came. He said that he was supposed to deliver his speech, and was it impromptu? And the governor was there of Niger State. He said the wife called him and said that he has told the mother-in-law, who happened to be a broadcaster of many years, and everybody was ready, waiting. So he was getting scared. But you see, even though he was scared, he used that as a motivation. I cannot feel my wife. And the wife had actually told him, sweetheart, please don't fall my hand. So as he stood, even if he was afraid, he had to deliver. And we're going to learn a few things. So let's look at 5 elements of storytelling. 5 elements of storytelling. This will just help you. Remind me to teach you. Just write it down. I'm going to come back again in the nearest future in the course of our training to discuss how to tell a good story. Whether it's in the opening or the body or the ending. How to tell a good story. But these are the 5 elements. The story of your presentation should have character. That is individuals, the hero and villain. You can introduce dialogue, conversations in the story. You can introduce drama. In the story, you can add suspense, a bit of suspense, and there should be action or a point. Please change this to point, not action, to point. Because the rule for a story also is that you don't just tell a story for a story's sake. It must be leading to, write that down, you note. The story must be leading to the title or to the first point. The story must be leading to the title or what? Or to the first point. Is that clear? Great. Let's look at another hook. We're looking at different hooks. So another hook that you can use as a start to capture the audience, to engage the audience, is called icebreakers and demonstration. Icebreakers and demonstration. So, what are icebreakers? Icebreakers are activities designed. So, before you climb the stage, you have designed these activities. And the purpose of this icebreaker is to engage the audience as quickly as possible. Activities designed to engage the audience as quickly as possible. So, please, have you captured this? Demonstration. Activities designed to engage the audience as quickly as possible. So, you're a politician. You're speaking to market women, or you're speaking to students to solicit for votes. What would you say first? What's the appropriate thing to say first? You went, students are gathered, and you have to say a few things. What's the appropriate thing to say first?
I think for me, I have my own
Style.
approach.
Or what's your approach?
If my target audience are students, and then I will recall some of the things I did as a student, and it usually triggers them to get excited.
Beautiful. But what's the first thing you're going to say? We just say good morning. What's the first thing you're going to say?
Greatest.
Hey, that's what I'm waiting for. Greatest Bobo. And you must do it the way they do it too. You must, your slogan. So that activity is called an icebreaker. So when you do it for in political parties, core members, all those things that you do at that time are called icebreakers. Let me tell you what I did to core members. So this year's me, I was to speak at an event, and I did a little exercise. Please pay attention to this exercise. So I brought out, I think, what was 5,000 or so. I brought out 5,000 naira, and I raised it up like this. And I said, I want to give this 5,000 naira to somebody. My business is very short here. After I did all the greatest boo, all the greatest baba, and I said, my business, I have 5,000. I know students need 5K. 5K can do a lot. Who wants this 5,000 naira? If you desire it and truly want it, you want it. Some people raised their hands. Some people said, I. Then 1, 2. After seeing me insist, still standing, walked towards me, and I shook hands with them, and I split the 5,000 into two, gave one 2,500 and gave another one 2,500. Some other core members said, oh no, sir, I was the first person to raise my hands. I was the person to stand up. I said, okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's calm down. These people came out, and I gave them the money, because the proof that you truly desire something is pursuit. The proof that you desire something is pursuit. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my topic today is the power of action. See, I use an icebreaker to connect to the point. Does it make any sense? Yeah. So icebreakers are things you can do. And I think we have, there's a chapter 10 of Speak Like a Pro handles icebreakers, types of icebreakers, how to do icebreakers in that book. Let's go and let's move on and let's move on. So, we have what is called, this is also an icebreaker. You can use pictures. The next hook you can use is establish your credibility. I'm not going to overflog this because I've said this a lot. I've said this a lot and a lot and a lot. Remember that you are facing an audience that is sizing you up, so establish your credibility. Then the last one is honor and protocol. Honor. How do you pronounce this word?
Honor.
Let me hear you.
Honor. Honor.
The H is silent. Honor and protocol. Honor. It's an honor to meet you. Honorary chairman. An honor and protocol. Follow it carefully. Understand the protocol of any event. In the academic world, understand it. And this is important. So that's about that. So this is what I want you to write down. If you have a room filled with dignitaries, begin your presentation with honoring or honor, with honoring, honor and protocol. Begin, that's how you start. We use what is called the opening trial when we start or begin our presentations. Please, it's important that you pay attention to this very important fact. Let me give you another very important hook. A very important hook. You went for an event. I'd like to know your name, ma'am. Your name. Aisha. You went for an event, and a very charismatic speaker preceded you, was the first to give a speech. And after this lady, like you, gave a speech, the audience erupted with joy and exhilaration, and there was excitement, and people were clapping for her, and you were the next speaker. If you don't understand stage fright, that's when you really understand stage fright. Because this person has performed so well, I'm the next person to do it. So what do you do in that kind of situation? You calm down, you come up the stage, you do the protocol, and then you go ahead and say, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I had a very wonderful and exciting time listening to my fellow speaker. Can we celebrate our fellow speaker again? And everybody claps. You did so well, man. I learned a few things from what you taught us. I learned this, I learned that. And if for whatever reason she has said something that is leading to what you're going to say, you can connect it to your point. That way people relax and enjoy your presentation. Does that make any sense? Yes. So don't be intimidated by a previous speaker that has done a fantastic job. Just acknowledge respectfully and do your thing. Your own style. You know, we have different styles. So if your style is to do it calmly and quietly, do it. Don't try to. You know what people want to do? The other person was speaking and jumping and saying this. Then you now come up, and because you're trying to meet up with that standard, you do the same thing. You want to jump, and then you mess up the whole process. Is that good? All right, so let's go to the next hook. So the next one is draw from previous speakers. Draw from previous speakers. Listen, come for meetings early that you are supposed to do a presentation. Don't go for late for meetings. One of the things that will destabilize you as a speaker is when you go late for meetings that you are speaking. So in a certain meeting, the first speaker came, I was giving a powerful speech, and his topic was on packaging. He said, package yourself. Packaging is everything. Package. This man, second speaker, came very late. Very late. Came when the man was closing. Sat down. Let's make welcome the second speaker. Guess what the second speaker came and said? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, packaging is not so important. Focus on the content. You don't judge a book by the color or the cover, or by the content. And he literally contradicted the first speaker. The audience was watching him. But if he was there in the meeting early enough, he would have listened and known how to, oh yes, it's good to package, and also do this, and that doesn't make any sense. So you attend meetings early. Let's look at another hook that you can use. Another hook that you can use is and that's the last hook. There are many other hooks, but this is one other thing you want to learn to use. Learn to begin with a startling statement. Statements that are audacious. Statements that will startle people, make them feel, oh, that's worthy of note, something to listen to. For example, I can say, what you're about to learn in these 2 days in the public speaking class, though intensive, you will not learn in 4 years at the university in a communications class. That is audacious. That is, people say, are you for real? But please, when you make an audacious statement like that, make sure you're able to deliver. You're able to deliver, to give. I'll say. So now, if we have an opening trial, we have what is called an opening combo. Look how it's spelled. If we have an opening trial, we have an opening combo. What's an opening trial? breaking your opening into 3 parts. When is it used? Used in formal meetings. Opening combo is when you combine opening strategies. The word combo there means combination. And it is used mostly in informal meetings. Meetings are not so serious. Meetings where you don't have to honor people and call this name and that name. We call it the opening combo. It's when you combine hooks. So you can put in front of opening combo when you combine hooks. All right? Please, once it is 12:30, remind me because we need to allow our Muslim brothers and sisters to say their prayers. We'll come back in. Is that okay? You said 1:30? Okay, 1:30. Okay, great. All right. So when I say opening, should I go back? So is this making sense at all? Yeah. It is making any sense? Yeah. So get your strategy right. Your OBC. OBC right. O, B, C. What is O?
Opening.
What is B?
Body.
What is C?
Conclusion.
Then one of the things we're going to learn is how you move from O to B and B to C is called transition.
You say we shouldn't call the C conclusion, but
Close. Yes, I said close, sorry. Close. How you move from O to B, B to C is called transition. Have you heard people say transition? That is how you move. We're going to learn that in the course of our conversation. So this is a very important part. When we say OBC, we're saying the structure of your speech. When we say OBC, we're saying the sequence of your speech. When we say OBC, we're saying the organization of your speech. That is the crux of the matter. Are we together? Once you get it wrong there, see, this is where fear comes from. When is a speaker prepared? Write that down in your notes again. When is a speaker prepared? When can you say, I'm ready to give that speech? I'm ready. Number 1, he knows his subjects. I thought that yesterday, but I'll just repeat it. 1, subjects. Put in front of that, what? Most of us already know what to do. We know what to say. We're smart. But that's not all. We stop there. Number 2, purpose. Why? Why am I giving this speech? Why am I giving this speech at this point in time? Number 3, audience. Who? Who am I giving the speech to? Who am I giving the speech to? And can you know the what's number 4? Sequence. Organization. And structure. That's why today is the main class. Sequence. Sequence.
please let's get it properly.
Sequence. And you put in brackets how. When is a speaker ready to speak? Subject, tick. Purpose, why am I speaking? Audience, who? What's the last one? Sequence. What is the sequence? O, B, C. Saraki, what is the sequence of your speech? O, B, C. That's sequence. So, you know what you're going to talk about, the projects, but you don't know your why. You don't know why you're speaking. So, I gave yesterday, just for us, let's focus now. Good. Let's listen. Listen, I'll allow you to write. Why am I giving, what am I doing here? Why am I speaking to us? There's a why. So the why of speaking, there are 5 whys of speaking. So put your notes somewhere. 5 reasons we speak. 5 reasons we speak. 5 reasons we speak. 5 reasons we speak. Number 1, we speak because we want to inform. If you're a broadcaster or a presenter, a journalist, you're just giving out information. You're dispassionate. Your emotions are not involved. That's why people are angry with CNN. They involve their emotions and abuse Donald Trump. And Donald Trump ended up winning. So broadcasters, that's what you see. You see, if you come to NTA, BBC, they do proper journalism. All the broadcasting will stubber to all those. They don't involve their emotions into. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been elected as president of Nigeria. Wow. Whether he voted for him or not, but in CNN, Donald Trump, unfortunately, is the president of America. You don't need to put your emotions into it. Journalism doesn't allow that. Your purpose as a broadcaster is to disseminate information. Number two reason we give speeches, to educate. I didn't say edu. What did I say? Educate. So I give this presentation because I want to educate. So like what I'm doing here is teaching you. So I take my time, I go back, I listen. What's number three? Number three, we give presentation because we want to instruct. In your leadership position, Aisha is a leader, talking to people, this instruction, that instruction. Number four, we give presentation because we want to entertain. We're here to entertain for whatever reason. And then number five, why do you give presentations? Persuade. That's five. Persuade. Persuade means convince. All right? So have you seen the reasons why now? So part of your preparation is identifying and figuring out your purpose. Is that clear? So for those who want to learn, look at me. Sometimes you want to speak, you want to market a product, and the appropriate way you're thinking is, before I persuade people to buy, why don't I use a strategy? Why don't I teach them first? Teach and then I will persuade. Teach before I pitch. Educate before I persuade them. When I used to be in Lagos, we get into buses. Somebody will carry a pastor and say, he will not say, I came here to give us some advice and some wisdom. Some people suffer from jadi and diabetes. If you have this thing, if you sleep and you touch your skin like this, and your skin doesn't go back, it means that you have something from. He will explain some sicknesses and tell you some homemade remedy, and at the end of the day, he will now bring out. That's why I want to bring this supplement. Just take two. Have you seen that happen before? The reason why people now say, Stasi, please give me two, give me one, give me two, because he taught first before he sold. So his purpose, he combined teaching or education with persuasion. Always a powerful strategy. If you're a marketer here. Always a powerful strategy. You want to speak to children, young people, and you want to start giving them instruction, they will listen to you. But if you entertain them, then you educate them. Oh, so you have to figure out, what is my why? Do I have to combine my why? The next one is what the audience. That's where you understand the protocol and so on and forth. And the last part is the sequence, your OBC. Is that clear enough? You cannot just tick subjects and leave it alone. You must tick subject, purpose, audience, and sequence before you say, okay, I'm ready for this presentation. The opening combo means that you can combine greetings, quotes, and story. You can greet people, add your quotes, and then a story. That's opening combo. Is anybody lost? Is anybody lost? We talked about opening trial, and now we're discussing opening combo. Are you lost? Okay. Opening combo is when you combine. So we're looking at combinations. Greeting, quotes, and story. All right? Let's look at another one. We can also do like this. Quotes, title, and story. These are combinations. Quotes, titles, and stories. Where's Oge? I want us to watch how many minutes is the Professor Rogel's video? 8 minutes. I want us to take our time to watch 8 minutes video. Can we tell them to open? I told them to bring fan. Yes. It's not working. I told them, I said to bring fan. Bring fan for us. 8 minutes video. So quotes, title, and story. See another one again. Icebreakers. Point 1. Then you start to greet. You do an icebreaker. You release your first point. Then you start doing your protocol. When you do those kind of combinations, or any kind of combinations, we call it an opening combo. Is that clear enough? Are we clear on this? Have I lost us today? Yes. So let's watch our videos. One is 8 minutes, one is 10 minutes. That's for a few minutes. Okay, let's play that video. I want you to watch.